It is your free sports betting podcast, The Tailgate Party from OffshoreInsiders.com. Why don't we start it out today with the top bets, the top public bets in terms of percentage of bets. We'll start out in the NBA. Only really one to speak of that is significant. Golden State, 70% of the tickets have been written on them. As far as money is concerned, 87% of the money on the Miami Heat, 86% on Golden State. Obviously not a big portfolio for tonight, so that's the reason. No, not really a lot of consensus plays, public consensus there, but, or I should say, however, I caught myself listening to my restaurant podcast. By the way, do you know anyone who lives in the Atlanta metropolitan area? Or I did a special edition in Columbus, Ohio. Go to atlantagrubber.com for the best restaurant review podcast in Atlanta with a special edition for Columbus, Ohio. Did I say Columbia, South Carolina? I don't get a lot of sleep. Columbus, Ohio. No, I love Columbia, South Carolina. I've been there. Not in a while, but I have been there. All right, your top public plays. Well, my point was that I found myself saying, but too often there, so I'm trying to get out of that habit. All right, college basketball, the top consensus plays in terms of number of bets. Really, Mount St. Mary's, the only one of any real significance. That's when it comes to the percentage of tickets, and that is 95%. Now, when it comes to the percentage of money, LIU, 99%, Murray State, 95%, Gardner-Webb at 93%, UL Monroe at 91%. Now, that's significant for a couple reasons. First of all, the public generally likes to bet favorites. However, they are betting the favorite when it comes to the number of tickets, and the theory being when the money goes opposite of the number of tickets to go with the money. So therefore, according to a criterion a lot of people use, UL Monroe would be a sharp bet. Joe Duffy's picks, we're rocking. We are rocking. 31-19 college basketball and NBA go tonight, 3 NBA. And if you visit OffshoreInsiders.com, you'll see why the fact that, we were robbed of a great winning night last night. Game goes over in overtime. Of course, we had the under, and it was definitely under when regulation ended. But click on where it says sharp reasons there. Click on that, and we will tell you why you got to suck it up when you lose in overtime and, betting unders, why unders are, as a general rule of thumb, a sharp play. Very educational video. Definitely worth it. Keep in mind, Stevie Vincent continues to be on fire. 3 free days of his picks are available at OffshoreInsiders.com. Biggest line moves today. In the NBA, Golden State open up as a 5.5-point favorite to Orlando. They're now up to 8. Houston, that's it. That's the only line moves in the NBA. College basketball, Arizona State open up as a 1.5-point underdog to Oregon. They're now a 1.5-point favorite. Winthrop open up as a 3.5-point favorite to Radford. They're up to 5.5. Georgia State open up at 8.5 to Georgia Southern. They are now 6.5-point favorites. Let's take a look at your spread standings in college basketball. Again, our spread standings are based on the margin of cover, not specifically the ATS record, although there's obviously an overlap. A smaller sample of games, but Colgate, the top team in the country in terms of spread margin, they're 5-3 ATS, but covering by an average of 10.2. Moorhead, which I know is the favorite school of Oscar Dooley, Moorhead 14-5 by 8.3 points per game. Wright State 12-7 by 17.9. Notice we haven't said Drake yet. We'll talk about them in a moment. Wright State 12-7 by 7.9. UC Riverside 8-3-1 by 7.2. Prairie View 10-1 by an average of 6.8 points per game. And I'm telling you, there were a lot of people at the beginning of the year, people whose opinions that I trust when it comes to the organic handicapping, people that know rosters inside and out, that could probably name you the starting 5 on Prairie View, or at least some of the starters. A lot of those experts thought that Prairie View was the worst team in the country in terms of talent in Division One. What do we tell you? Sometimes you got to win ugly. Prairie View is 10-1 this year against the spread. Drake, which got off to the record start, they became the first team in history to start 13-0 against the spread. They're down to 15-3, covering by 6.4 points per game. Baylor also covering by 6.4 at 13-4. Now, the best teams to bet against, Eastern Michigan is 2-7, minus 10.1. By the way, let me go back to what I was saying about Prairie View as well. When a team has terrible power ratings, I mean, the theory is, well, not the theory, the truth is, from a betting standpoint, they have nowhere to go but up. So it's not like they're going to be overvalued when the entire world is saying they're the worst team in Division One. So, you know, that's another reason. You're talking about the good teams are the ones that are more likely to be overvalued. The terrible teams are the ones that are more likely to be undervalued. All right, back to the spread standings. Boston University is 2-6, minus 9.2 points per game. Northern Illinois, 2-10, minus 8.6. Mississippi Valley State, 5-12, minus 7.6. Long Beach State, 3-5, minus 7.5. Now Duke, an abysmal 3-12, although minus 6.9. A lot of people would think they would be the worst spread team in the country based on margin of cover. Not quite. Michigan State, 4-13, minus 6.8. So again, you know, the two of the bigger name teams, arguably the two big, well, not the two biggest, but two of the bigger name teams in the country, Duke and Michigan State, a combined 7-25 against the spread. Okay, here's your free pick for today. In the NBA, your free pick is to go with Orlando plus the 8 against Golden State. Orlando is ice cold both straight up and against the spread. Golden State's been solid both straight up and against the spread, even more so at home, where I believe they're 8-5 SU and ATS. Now, squares will see that and pounce on golden showers. Not so fast. Road underdogs, under 500, when an ATS losing streak versus an unrested team on a point spread winning streak, 926, 679 and 30. Sharp bettors know that we win ugly, and we win with regression to the mean. And that's what is the case here. And I basically talked about that with Prairie View A&M as well. You got to win ugly in gambling, and more so, frankly, in pro sports than in college basketball. But I do think when, you know, words are, people were outsmarting themselves. They're like, yeah, Prairie View A&M. All the experts say they have no talent. Let me fade them, right? Because I can sneak under the radar. No, you outsmart yourself sometimes. Anyway, my allergies are coming on. I think I got a sneeze coming on. So we will talk to you very soon. But make sure you visit offshoreinsiders.com each and every day for vetted sports books and the best premium sports picks.